Yo, what's going on, real fans? How y'all doing? Welcome to a brand new episode of From the Nosebleeds, a place where you, the real fans, and I can hate on our teams for doing really shitty. That's including the Knicks, the Giants, the Jets, the Mets. We're all garbage ass trash, But you know what? We're here to have fun and give some real ass, dead ass opinions up in here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Another week has gone by. Really, another week and a half. Sorry for the no video last week. But just a lot of work came up, and I didn't really have time to watch a lot of games and then just really analyze them and try to give my true little opinions of what I really saw, because I didn't really see much. It was just super busy. But like I said, we're booty cheeks. A lot of our teams are booty cheeks. In the past couple of weeks, especially the New York Knicks. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Fizdale's been trying some different lineups. Trying to balance out offense with defense and, some energy guys in there. A lot of people have been put in the starting lineup, but we're still playing around who starts, because that's been one of our biggest weaknesses, is the start of many games. We haven't had the energy. We have had, slow starts and stuff like that, and then we're just trying to play catch up at the rest of the game after that point. But it's just a lot of mix and matching right now. He said basically every week he kind of wants to have a different lineup, based on who's earned it. But just to see trying to get a better start to games, because once we start, we like I said, it's bad shot selection and stuff like that. Just really slow starts, bad defense, and then we turn it up by midway through the first quarter into the second quarter and stuff like that. But a couple of people that Von Lay got starts, Alonzo Triers finally just getting starts, Cantor sat down, and Robinson to try to get more defense in there started playing in the starting lineup. So he's just trying to mix and match players to see what what works, what doesn't work, who can play well together and stuff like that. But that's one of the big things going on in New York Knicks. Not a great start. As of right now, we're 3-8 on the season, so still really young. But it's a 10-game span to see where it hasn't been great so far to the start of the Fizdale era, but there's flashes of what the potential can be, but we still haven't put it all together. There's been some great moments. Hezonja has really been stepping it up. He's been making some really great plays, but he's also getting more minutes now. But he's showing what he can do and stuff like that, with scoring and passing the ball and bringing the ball up and stuff like that. So he's been really good to see. Robinson, hustle, energy, proving himself. Being not going into college, but being then drafted in the second round this past year. And he brings defense and stuff like that, so he's good to see. Alonzo Triers getting the starting nod a couple of games, and he's really balling out, which is really cool to see, just because he was undrafted and no one gave him really a good chance, and he's starting to prove himself, and now he's starting in the NBA, and that's such a cool story to see. But yeah, so the slow starts, and really what's killing us is the execution at the end of the game. The last 4 minutes of the game, those are always really crucial minutes. We've been in it on a lot of games. We've been really close, down the stretch, only difference between 1 or 2 or 3 points in the game, and we just don't execute at the end of the game. We just forget how to play and stuff like that. But we just don't know, we don't play defense as hard. We don't really rebound. Bad shot selection. So everything we do in the beginning of the game, we're also doing at the end of the game, which really can't happen. So that's been two of our biggest weaknesses, is starting and finishing games. Is just we don't know what we want to do, and then I guess our lineups, and everyone's just trying to do a little bit too much, because if we're losing, everyone wants to take the shot to get the lead, blah blah blah, and do stuff like that. But it's killing us. Our execution at the end of the game is really killing us. Like I said, we've been close. The Mavericks game, we were right down with them, up until the very end, and they just started pulling away and stuff like that. But it's the tinkering of the lineup. Fizdale is just again, I'm just trying to say that he's still figuring it out himself too. It's still only 11 games and stuff like that, so there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and there's been glimpses of for good stretches, we played really good basketball, but we still haven't put it quite together yet. So that's just hopefully within the next 10 games or so at that point, we'll kind of see who we really are, and who kind of meshes who with who, and who plays off the ball and stuff like that. So hopefully within these next 10 games, we'll see really who's going to be in the rotation heavily, and who might be kind of fading out at that point, so he might be more like more of a bench player. But with that, I was gonna say, I was reading a lot of articles, and then like Enes Kanter, who got benched, and he's been a starter pretty much in his Knicks career, and now Mitchell Robinson had got a chance, just like I said, because he plays a little bit more defense, and he's a really good rebounder and stuff like that. So Fizdale's trying to bring defense into the beginning of the games because we're severely lacking in that. And so Kanter didn't really take that well. He's a great player in his own right. He's like, he works hard, but he's more of an offensive player and stuff like that. So he didn't really take well to like sitting down and stuff like that. But he just wanted to, that night when he first got benched, he got like a double-double, and he was just like, he's like, I've always been a starter, or like, I always want to be a starter and stuff like that. So like I kind of like it because it gives him that fire to be like, I'm here to prove myself, like I'm definitely not a bench player, which is fine. Sometimes you have to know your role, but like it's good to see that fire, hopefully he brings a little bit more energy now, and like, tries to play a little bit more defense to be like, I can actually play defense, I can score the ball, I'm a good passer or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, that I just want to see that fire, but like without the ego. So, like if he can learn to do that, I think he'd be even better. But I'm sure he'll probably be in the starting lineup sooner rather than later again, just because he is a valuable player in our system at least. But he is a good player overall in the NBA. But and one of the cool things, I don't know if you guys know about this. I was just watching the game, and then had like the MSG shorts kind of thing, where they follow like players or the coaches. So they actually coach Fizdale, and like I think this is why I really like the hire, and like this is why he's such a good coach to be here in New York, and he's just a good person. He brings ex-Knicks and stuff like that, and he brings like other people and professionals to teach these like players how to manage their finances. Like what head coach helps out their players to like, hey, you guys make millions of dollars playing a basketball, like a kid's game and stuff like that, but like he's thinking about their future, which is just a really cool thing to see. Like as much as basketball is and like what I'm talking about, it's just so cool to see the human interaction and the human, him treating them like they are people, guys. They're just really good at a sport, putting ball in hoop. But he gives them like financial advisors to be like, hey, you should do this with your money, or like how to understand what to do with all this money that they're making. Because I'm sure you guys know that like a lot of players go bankrupt and stuff like that, so he's just trying to teach them like about life itself, life beyond basketball. Because once you're they're 35 and their bodies can't perform anymore, that's it, and they're 35 years old. Like you're really young, in the spectrum of things. So like to have a career outside of NBA and stuff like that, not everyone's gonna be a broadcaster, or whatever, or like be tied with an organization to become like the president or player, whatever, player management and stuff like that. So he's teaching them like how to handle their finances, what careers there might be outside of basketball and stuff like that. So he's preparing them for the outside world once their career is kind of over and they retire and stuff like that. So that's really cool to see. I definitely recommend it. It's on MSG Shorts. So it's just cool to see that he cares about them on a personal level, not just these are my players and like I'll have their back, but like they're here to play basketball. Like no, this is why a lot of people have had so much respect for him, and they love him as a person, because he actually cares about the person itself, not just because of who they are or like what they can do with the basketball and stuff like that. So I still think Coach Fizdale is doing a great job. We're gonna have to ride out the season. I came to expect that early on. Like I knew this season wasn't gonna go. I wasn't expecting like playoffs or anything like that, but there's still hope. But that's just the way it's gonna break down and stuff like that. But it is what it is, and it's just cool to see other people, like some of these people, like some of these players getting a chance, because you never really see them get a chance sometimes, and you see them in college and stuff like that, and be a star, but in the NBA they just don't quite make it. But he's giving everyone a chance, and honestly, we can go 9 deep, 9-10 deep. We have the power. Like no one on our team is like ass trash, like a lot of our players can be like bench players or like somewhat starters in another team. So, and like I said, we have multiple lottery picks. We have like 6 lottery picks from the past couple of years on our teams, so they have the talent. And like I said, Herzonia's with more minutes, he's been playing much better. You know, it's showing flashes of like why he was a lottery pick and stuff like that. So he's turning out to be a nice little player who's coming up and taking most of his opportunities with the minutes he's giving, and he's showing us why he deserves those minutes and stuff like that. On the other side of the bridge, we got Brooklyn. Brooklyn's at 5-6 right now, and they're playing a lot better. You know, some close games, you know, some tough losses, but you know, some wins that are really like blowout wins. Like, and the biggest win they have so far is against Philly. Like, they blew out Philly, which, you know, yeah, Philly had an off night and stuff like that, but it's still a top team, which is really impressive for the Nets to build on and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a good win. I saw a couple minutes of it. They looked really good. Joe Harris is shooting the lights off the ball. He's shooting over 50% from three. Like, I'm not saying he's Steph Curry-esque, because that's insane, but he's shooting over half his 3-pointers are going in. Like, that's insane. He's averaging around 18-19 points a game. So that's a good chunk of their points coming from him, and he's just a solid player. He just, you know, he can create, and he's making plays for other of his teammates. So, which is really good to see. And you know, he's just being I see him as one of the focal leaders of that team, because you know, he's not like the flashy player. You know, he's not like the big name like some other players are. You know, like Caris LeVert is becoming the star of the team, and you know, D'Angelo Russell, who had the name of before as a lottery pick and being traded from the Lakers to the Nets. He's not that name, but he's such a focal point of that team, because if he's not in, you kind of see that they're kind of like, okay, what do we do? Like, you know, he helps like direct everyone, which is really great to see. And you know, he's just like, he's like an anchor. Like, when he's out on the floor, it looks like they have a game plan, you know? Like, he's like the general on the floor a lot of the times, because he can bring up the ball as well. So he's like kind of leading the pack and just, you know, being the utility Swiss Army knife, doing a little bit of everything to try to help out everyone where he can and stuff like that. But along with that, you know, like I said, I've seen some of the games now, and I don't know, Kenny Atkinson, a lot of people are questioning like his style of coaching and like when he makes certain decisions at a time and stuff like that. I tend to agree. Sometimes I'm just like, why are you putting these players in when you have such a nice streak going, or like making like, you know, a defensive play call or an offensive, why are we running that play off this and stuff like that, calling timeouts when you really shouldn't and stuff like that. He actually cost us one game where the OT game, we were just like, you know, we had a chance and then it just went to OT and we just lost. But you know, again, it's still early. They're 5-6, so a little bit better than the Knicks. You know, they're performing much better, much more consistent. And I think it's also because, I mean, again, they've had last year to really, you know, they played together last year a lot. You know, it's not just like a lot of free agents and stuff, but they also, like I said, Caris LeVert is becoming a superstar. You know, he's leading this team, and he's not afraid to put the team on his shoulders. And he's ready to carry that weight. And then Rondé Hollis Jefferson came back, so that was a huge help too. So them two are like kind of like similar in where they're trying to bring this team back. And you know, like, and they have nice pieces. You know, like I said, Joe Harris is there, Jared Allen, who's basically a double machine. Like, he just gets rebounds and putbacks, but that's what he has to do. You know, Russell, who's doing really well. You know, one game he had almost 30 points and stuff like that. So, you know, he's having games and off games, but for the most part, he's trying to help out the team as best as he can. So they have some nice little pieces and stuff like that. So they're doing really well to start off the season, so which is nice to see. Possibly a playoff team. You know, as of right now, I think they're 5th or 6th around that in the East. So we'll see how that goes. They're in the lower tier, but that's all right. But they have if they get it going, you know, I definitely see them. They can have like a slight run, especially against, you know, the lower tier teams. And if you just like win those games, they'll probably make it. The East is such an easy conference to win in anyway, so it really doesn't take a lot to get into the playoffs in the East, except for like the top 3 teams, which is like Boston, Philly, and like Toronto. So that's really cool to see. That's all I really got for basketball. On to football. The Giants win, and I only say that because we didn't freaking play. And that's so sad to say. I made that joke with my friend where I was like, the Giants won. He's like, aren't we up? I was like, exactly. We fucking won because we didn't even fucking play. And my issue with going into the bye week, my boys and girls, Kyle Lauletta, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're being discussed as being possibly start after the bye week. You know, Eli hasn't been playing well. Might as well give you a shot. And what the fuck do? You get arrested. How dumb are you right now? You get arrested for like almost hitting a cop. I'm like, dude. Like, you had it. I mean, I think you should have started. You know, might as well see what you got. You know, and you fucked it up. You really fucked it up. And now Shermer has already named Eli. He's going to start in Monday Night Football against the 49ers. So, I don't know. Another loss, mark it down. Just mark it. Nicky Mullins starting again. Killed the Raiders. Probably kill us. So, we'll see how it goes. I don't understand. Like, I'm like, dude, you're literally being talked about to start for the New York Giants. And you fuck it up. And you really fuck it up. And, like, you get arrested and all this shit happens. And now they're saying they're not going to suspend him, but he's going to be internally, you know, reprimanded for what he did. And so I just think that's really, really dumb on his part. He was about to start. I just don't know. Now we have to stick with Eli for this game. And for how long? We didn't trade him. We didn't trade anyone else after the deadline. You know, a couple of people, we had some high key, like Landon Collins was one of the biggest names, you know, that had couple teams had to floating around with his name attached to him. But he's staying, and according to reports, we're probably gonna franchise tag him, just to keep him on the team and just have that have him for next season at a certain price. I think it's around 14 million or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna franchise tag him if we can't come to a conclusion with his next contract extension for him. So we're probably, I don't know how much he's looking for or what we're gonna extend him to, but I think we're probably gonna franchise tag him just because of how we've done it in the past, especially with JPP and stuff like that. We franchise tagged him like for 2 years, so we're gonna see how that goes. And now that I have my Sundays back, I'll be watching the games, and I'll try to like live tweet it and see what we're doing wrong, and actually have a better analysis for next week's episode and stuff like that. So yeah, so on to the Jets. Horrible loss. You lose to the Dolphins, which, I mean, yeah, I guess it's like it's your division rival, and they always, give you some trouble, but like, still the Dolphins. You couldn't even score a touchdown. Like, that's horrible. 13-6. Like, come on, seriously, like, that's trash. But after the game, they found Darnold in the boot. He didn't even practice on Tuesday. He says he's fine. He says he'll be ready to go by Sunday, but they're still not quite sure. With that loss going into this week against Buffalo, I think if Todd Bowles at the Jets, but Todd Bowles would be on the hot seat if the Jets lose. And I get that he's still in the first year quarterback system, but like it's time. Might as well get a new coach. I don't see what the point of keeping Todd Bowles is anymore. Like, you have a bad record, you haven't made the playoffs in it, while he's been your head coach and anything like that. But he's just like, I just don't think he's a good head coach. I honestly think that, but you feel free to disagree. But I just think that he hasn't done anything for you guys. He really hasn't. He hasn't. I just don't think he coaches well. I don't think a lot of players they lost respect for him a lot. And it's just like sad to see, because he was such a good defensive coordinator, but like I just don't think he's suited up for New York, or at least head coach at the Jets, just because I don't know, I just think he's not made for this spotlight. But that's just the way it is. He said he wasn't really aware of the injury, but if Darnold's not ready to go, McCown's just gonna start, which it's whatever. Darnold's getting a lot of experience. I mean, he had 4 interceptions that last game, so that was pretty bad. And he leads the league with 14. But he's still a rookie quarterback. He's going to make these mistakes. He's going to learn from them. Hopefully next year he doesn't get the sophomore slump and just does better. But I'm also thinking about this. He doesn't have any weapons. He really doesn't. Crowell was out. Anunwan's still out. Or Crowell was just not that good of a running back anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Robbie Anderson, one day he's good and the next day he sucks balls. But it's just, the best way I can put it is the way Jamal Adams. I'm just like, he's tired of losing. I'm tired of the Jets losing. It sucks. And if you didn't see Jamal Adams, press conference or whatever, or his report, he was just like, I'm just tired of losing. I'm not a loser. He's like, I'm tired of rebuilding. Like, I'm a winner. And it's about time. He's like, I'm not holding my tongue anymore. Like, that's so, like, I respect that, because, like, it's true. These guys, as much as they are professional athletes and they're getting paid millions out of it, they're still competitive. Like, I'm competitive in my softball league. So, like, these guys hate to lose. And so, especially a lot of these players who come from winning their whole lives, from, like, Pee-wee to high school to college, they come to the Jets or, like, the Giants, like, they suck. They're ass. They're not used to losing. So I get that. Like, they're tired of losing. And he's one of the bright spots of the Jets. He's one of their 2 main stars, especially on defense. And I'm glad he just called it out. He was like, dude, I'm tired of losing. Like, let's turn this shit around. So it's time, it's time for the Jets to, like, pick it up. I don't know how they're going to do it, but you know what? They got to try somehow. So, but, like, I also see, like, at least on the offense point, and Darnold, he has no weapons. He has no one to throw it to. He doesn't really have a good running back, So, like, he has to force some throws, but he's going to, hopefully he learns from that and be like, all right, if I'm going to force the throw, either put it in a place where the receiver can get it, or just throw it out of bounds or on the ground so they can't intercept it at least, So, I don't know. Are you tired of the Jets losing? Let me know, because Jamal Adams is, I am, and I'm not even a Jets fan. I could give 2 shits about the Jets, but it does suck to see, especially when all New York sports teams are not great. At least one can be good, and I'll be like, all right, that sounds good. But yeah, short segment on football as Giants, since they had a bye week, not a lot. And the Jets, it was a really low-scoring game, and not a lot happened. So it's just what it is. But I think Todd Bowles, he's on his hind legs, and especially if he loses next week, yeah, I think he's kind of done. I don't know if they'll fire him mid-season. They'll probably wait until after the season. But it's hard for me to believe that they'll give him 1 more year, even though they have Sam Darnold now, and try to build that repertoire between them. I think it's just hard to see, because, like, they've been rebuilding and like nothing's been working out. So that's it for football and stuff like that. That's all I really got for football. But on to baseball. Offseason has officially started. I know last time it was right before the World Series, and we were just on Game 2. But the Red Sox won. Congratulations. Shout out to Emily if you're watching this. I know you're a Sox fan, so congratulations to you. Sorry, Parker, that you're gonna have to have a whole year of bragging, of her bragging that the Red Sox won. One thing I do want to bring up that had been irking me about the whole Boston Yankees thing, where Yankees chanted, "We want Boston in the divisional series." They got Boston, they lost, but they won 1 game and played New York, and then Boston played New York after they won the World Series and stuff like that. And they said Yankees suck during the World Series. And if you guys saw the videos, a Yankees fan in the game was wearing a Yankees jersey at a Red Sox-Dodgers World Series, mind you. And they were chanting Yankees sucks, and he was saying, oh, we're always in their heads and stuff like that. Now, all my Yankees friends, I know you're going to disagree, or you're going to comment me, or you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I think that it's stupid that you think, stupid's a harsh word. I think that it's really dumb that you think that, oh, it's little brother syndrome, that we're always in their heads. First of all, and everyone's gonna say, "Oh, 27 champion. Who gives a crap? You haven't won since 09. Good for you for your 27 championships. Like, no one will take it away from you. But all right, calm down. Like, whatever." And for Red Sox people, my thing is, it would have been the same thing either way. If the Yankees won and the Red Sox lost, Yankees would have said Boston. I guarantee you. And if you say no, we wouldn't have. You're so wrong. And you know it. You would have said the Red Sox fucking suck, and you fucking know that. So my thing is, this is so childish and like it's so dumb that I don't agree that they should have said Yankees suck. Like, dude, you beat them. Who gives? Like, you won. You beat them, and then you won the World Series. So you don't need to acknowledge them by any means. So I do agree with that part. But the fact that the Yankees fans are saying, "Oh, their little brother," blah blah blah, and that they're always jealous and stuff like that. Why do they have to be jealous? They've had more championship in the last decade. You know what I'm saying? So like they have in the last 10 years, they have more hardware than you do. You have one. They have like four or five. You know, like this year, 13, 04, 07. So like, who cares? Like, it's so dumb to me. But my thing is, if the Yankees won and the Red Sox didn't, y'all would have said, "Fuck Boston, blah blah blah, Boston sucks." Y'all would have said the same exact thing. So don't give me that, "Oh, we're always in their heads, blah blah." It's a rivalry. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. You would have done the same thing. So I just want to that's my piece on it. I'm gonna just lay that to bed. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. That's the way it is, to me at least. If whoever won was gonna say the same thing, and then we would be talking about, "Oh, Yankees fans are so pompous and stuff like that," and then like Yankee fans are the worst. It's a sports thing. It happened. Let's just get over it. On to the off season. Congrats to them. Let's get ready for 2019. Start winning a championship baseball. All right, that's my take on it. But whatever. That was my little rant. I usually have one. If you notice in these videos, I usually have one good rant. I'm gonna have another one later about the Mets, but we'll see it. We'll see how long that one goes. But going from that to the Yankees, Gold Gloves came out, and last time I said 3 Yankees were finalists. It was Tanaka, Judge, and Gardner. None of them actually won the Gold Glove, unfortunately, but that's all right. It is what it is. But now other awards are being nominated and stuff like that, and you still have 2 more finalists. And it's for the same category. Andujar and Gleyber Torres are both nominated for Rookie of the Year. And so good luck to them. And they're going against Tahani, whatever his name is, the pitcher from the Angels, pitcher, outfielder, whatever, hitter from Japan. I don't really know how to say his name. Sorry, it is what it is. So they're both going against him. Do I think one of them will win? I would think Andujar has more of a chance to win than Gleyber, I think he's the favorite, but it's still a toss-up. But I think he has the better chance of the two, just because he played a little bit more games and stuff like that, and had a little bit more of an impact, early on and stuff like that for the Yankees run. But congrats to them to being finalists at least. That's such an honor, and especially 2 players on the same team. For the same categories, that's pretty impressive. So congrats to them. We'll see if they get it. And then off-season talk. The Yankees are going to go after the 2 big dogs. The 2 big dogs being Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. They said that they want Manny. My thing is, he's probably going to have to play third base, because at least shortstop in the beginning until Didi comes back, because Didi's just too good at shortstop. And then, where you're going to put Gleyber, and you're not going to move Machado to second base. Like, that's just not going to happen. So my thing is, he'll probably play third. Once Didi comes back, Didi will be shortstop. Gleyber Torres will be second. And I was talking with people, and they said, I'm like, what about Andujar? If he's going to be Rookie of the Year, and you might possibly even trade him, just because you're having Manny Machado. If you get Manny Machado, might put him at first. That was another option. We were saying, like, start training him for first, because we're giving up on Greg Bird. Like, sorry dude, you had your chance, you had all the promise. you just can't stay healthy for shit. And even when you are, you're not performing a lot, like at all. And Voit, even though he had a great, end of the season for them, and he did really well, it's such a small sample piece that you're not quite sure if that might pan out or more. So a lot of people said Andujar might playing first, but they're also on the. I read an article that Cashman and the Yankees inquired about the Nationals, saying, "Hey, how does Bryce do at first?" And then his agent was saying that Bryce has the hands, the feet, and the skills to play first. So that'd be if that happens, if they get Bryce and Machado, that's it. I'm done. If they don't win, then that's just sad. You have basically a superstar almost at every position, and or really good players, and how do you not win if you get both of those players? My thing is, Bryce Harper already declined a 10-year, $300 million contract. He already declined that, and he's gonna just test the open market. And the Yankees can pay him, but that's so much money. And my thing is, I think people are gonna try to get a shorter term deal, just because Bryce is a little bit more. He has injuries in his past, so he's been missing out on time. So maybe not have a big deal, but probably worth that much money, or more. And if the Nationals were willing to offer that, a team will offer him an equivalent and much more to that. But we'll see if they get Manny. They said they wanted Manny, but they're obviously going to keep their eyes open, especially if Bryce Harper in that porch in right field. That dude's hitting got many home runs. He's gonna crush the ball. Literally a fly ball is gonna go out from him. He had a broken bat home run against the Mets. He's gonna have 10 of those in the Yankee Stadium. So, and they did sign CC Sabathia for 1 year, $8 million, and they're trying to sign J.A. Happ back. So if they bring Happ back, they'll be a solid starting pitching. Not the greatest though, but it's better than what they started off with last year. I honestly didn't think they would give CC their extension, but might as well. They have the money for it, so that's probably why they only give it for 1 year. They didn't want to be tied down long term for money and stuff like that. But yeah, speaking of money, something that we don't spend, the Mets. Yeah, are you on the Van wagon? I know that was a terrible pun. I've been working on it, but I am not. So the Mets hired a new GM, Brodie Van Wagen-en. I don't know what to think about it. I think it's gonna be bad. He's an agent. Yes, he understands how business side works, but it doesn't matter. The Wilpons, if they don't open up, what does it matter? He can know business all he wants. We have to have money, and we're not gonna pay money. So unless he can convince them, if he can convince them to give him up money, we have a shot. They said they're gonna explore, and they want to be in on every free agent. So that means Machado and Bryce. The one thing that we have going is that Bryce Harper bought an apartment in Long Island City where 4 Mets lived, including one is Jacob deGrom. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That means nothing to me. Maybe just a nice apartment with some nice views, alright? Long Island City's kind of nice. Maybe there's a beer garden down the road, but if that's what we're basing off that, oh, he might be a Met, and if I'm wrong, I'll gladly be wrong, sure, but if that's what we're basing off, oh, he lives where 4 Mets live, he's gonna be a Met. Stupid. Really fucking stupid, if anyone actually believes that. So I don't know. It really does means nothing to me. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm not expecting much. We may sign one free agent, maybe Wilson Ramos, maybe. They said two of their targets are Ramos and Grandal for catcher. I mean, anything would be an upgrade at catcher. A match would be an upgrade at catcher. It doesn't fucking matter for us. My thing is, if we have so many, bullpen and catcher are two biggest problems, but I still think we need a left-handed bat. We're just not healthy enough. Matt's always hurt. Yoenis usually gets hurt for a month at a time. Jay Bruce was out. These guys are all older players, Now someone was saying going on Manny Machado and trading him in Rosario, and I was like, okay. Of course Manny Machado is a superstar player. However, You know, the way Ahmed played that, you know, last couple weeks of the season, really month and a half, like he hit over like 320, I believe. It showed that like why he was our #1 prospect and one of the top prospects in baseball before he came up. So, and he's super fast and he's a great fielder and stuff like that. So my thing is, I don't know, I really could care less about it. Like if we do it, sure, but I'm excited to see what he does, you know, after his first season. Hopefully he puts on a little bit more muscle, so he can hit a little bit with a little bit more power. But I don't want him to hit for more power. I'd rather hit him for contact and get on base and be a leadoff hitter. But we'll see how it goes. I am excited for him. They also said Peter Alonso would get a shot for the starting position and try to be invited for spring training. What does that mean for Don Smith? I don't know, but he hasn't proven much to be, you know, to be a big league hitter and consistent big league hitter at that. So we'll see. It's gonna be a long off season for the Mets. We'll see if we bring in anyone, but I'm not expecting anything. I'm expecting us to be the same as we were this year. But hey, 2015 happened, so why not? It could happen again, right? But that's all I really got for this week on the Mets. It wasn't much of a rant. I just kind of noticed that it wasn't a rant, but I'm not on the Van Wagen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on the Van Wagen for Brodie Van Wagen, but it is what it is. I do have a special shout out. So Maria and AJ, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the support all the way in Madison. So I love you guys. I hope to see you guys soon. And everyone in Milwaukee, I'm planning a butt trip to go for up in February. So I hope to see you guys there. And shout out to NYC Social. If you guys don't know, I play softball on Sundays. So that's why I kind of don't watch a lot of the games, or I try to at least catch the like half of the game or the tail end of the game and just retweets about it, what happened. But unfortunately, my team, this isn't our color, but we're navy blue, but 99 Problem. Shout out to you guys if you guys are watching. Thank you guys for an amazing season. Thank you guys for all the support that you guys give me. We were eliminated in the playoffs, unfortunately. First time we're not making the championship round. So it was a good run though. It was a good year. So shout out to NYC Social for throwing on an amazing league. And if you're in the New York City area and looking for you know a social league, you know they have basketball, baseball, softball, kickball, dodgeball. They have everything. So if you're in the NYC area and you want to meet some new people, also do some activity, be active and stuff like that, play a sport, I definitely recommend NYC Social. They're such a fun, group of people, and I've never had a bad experience. I've done multiple leagues. I've done softball, volleyball, basketball, and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend if you're in New York and just trying to be active, or maybe just meet some new people and just have some fun during midday week or even on the weekends. I definitely recommend it. Chris, thank you for all the Knicks stuff that you send me. It's really cool to see. And thank you, Nate, and you guys are awesome hosts. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys next week. See ya.